Hi crafty friends, it's Tracy Hines, aka Nanner Bananer. I am so excited to show you this embellishment. So it's a really simple concept and easy to make. One of the things I really like about it is we are going to be using vintage book pages. And I wanted to talk about that for a minute. So when I go thrifting or I purchase items to junk journal with, I'm looking at books and particularly as, is that going to get turned into a journal, or am I going to use those pages to decorate journals or as bases, things like that. So don't just always think of the books that you purchase as, oh, that's going to be a journal. And yeah, you might use some of the pages in that book, but it doesn't have to stop there. In this Christmas series, I'm using Gooseberry Patch cookbooks, but they're not going to be cookbooks, and I'm not going to use very many of the pages out of them. But I am using book pages from a lot of different Christmas books for these journals. So this is going to sit over top of a page in your journal. Let me show you what I mean. So imagine this is your signature page. This can sit on top, lift up, you have a journaling space, and then on the back you have journaling space, and from both sides it's decorative. So from the back, this is what you see. From the front, you see this decorative image. A lot of stuff on my workspace. All right, let's finish looking at the other ones I've done. So this one's got embellishments at the top and at the bottom. This one just at the top. I do like to layer embellishments and things like that. And I did sew these on. You wouldn't have to. This could just be 100% glued only, and it would work just as well. I just like the added texture of sewing. So let's get started. I'm going to show you how I made these, and I think you'll be surprised at how easy they are to make. The first step that we are going to do is take our trimmer and our 12 by 12 scrapbook paper, and we are going to trim it to 5 inches by 12. So we can get 2 of these from one 12 by 12 sheet of paper. Okay, our next step that I like to do is just go ahead and bring this down to the bottom here to keep it straight, and I am going to make my fold line right at 7. The only reason this would ever need to be any different is if your journal is sized differently than what mine is, but this gives you a 5 by 7 embellishment when it's all said and done, and that's going to fit in most journals. All right. Okay. Now the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and cut out our vintage book pages. I don't have too many left from where I've made so many, so this would be an image I wouldn't mind using. I really like this image as well, even though it doesn't have Santa on it. It says, "Dear Santa, my puppy is lost. If you find him, will you bring him home? Please, your friend Mike." I don't know, I just love it. It's cute. This would be a good image, or this. So I've got to decide in the first place, do I want this to have Santa Claus on it like the others do as my focal point, or do I want to use this? And I think I'm going to stick with the Santa Claus images, even though that is super cute. The next thing I want to decide is which Santa Claus image I like the best. So we've got this one here that's really nice, and he's got toys. We've got this one where he's looking at his list. Ooh, I love that one. Look at that. Now, you're not going to see the tree. You're probably just going to see Santa standing there with his list. Part of his hat might get cut off, though. That's the only issue with that. And this one, All right, I think we'll do these two. Those are the two I like the best. The first thing I like to do is trim off this edge over here that was in the book. It doesn't have to be, it'll get trimmed more. I just like to get that edge off. Actually, in this particular time, so I'm not wasting time making more than one cut. I'll do this. And this. So I'm basically getting this 5 inches wide, and then as far as how tall it needs to be, I like to put this down at the edge of the page, and there should be a 1/2 inch up at the top. That's what we're going for. So you can just sort of eyeball that if you like, or you can be more meticulous with it in measuring. That's up to you. Trying to do a combo of both. Some images from pages are going to be a whole lot more easy to trim down than others. This book had a shape to it, so it made it a little bit more tricky. All right, and I want the entire list in there if possible, is what I'm trying to go for. I will be cutting some off the bottom on this one, so it's not too long. And again, you're just going to that 7 inches is what we're doing here. So I'm going to line that up with a 1/2 inch to give, and it looks like if I go right to just below those letters, I'll be fine. So let me go ahead and do that. All right, let's see how I did. All right, that's perfect. So let me get this out of my way so I have a little bit more workspace to work with. And we will get started with our next steps. Let me bring in some of my items that I'll be using to decorate with. All right, so the way I glue this on is I like to leave it as an option for a hidden pocket. So I'm just going to glue 3 sides of this, and I actually glue on the scrapbook paper. And that way it creates a pocket if I decide to use it. I have that option. Whereas if I glue it all over, one, I'm using a lot more glue than I need to because it doesn't require that much glue to do this. And then at that point, if I change my mind, there's no way to put anything in that pocket. Hopefully that makes sense what I'm saying there. I'm just gluing 3 sides, leaving one side open, so if I wanted to tuck in a journaling card or something, I can. The next step is I like to include a piece of lace on here, and this is just cheap Dollar Tree lace, nothing too fancy. Do that on each side. Again, you wouldn't have to glue it because we are going to go ahead and sew this as well, but it certainly doesn't hurt to put the glue down. And then here's where the fun part starts. We get to layer pieces on here to get the look that we are wanting. And I am using the Tin Holtz Christmas ephemera pack from last year to do this. I don't know which one I like best. If I like that one over there. think I'll do that. Let me see what I've got left in the way of this strip over here. Okay, so we will just add a strip and cut that off, the excess. And we'll go ahead and glue this piece on too. All right, now then we get to decide how we want to layer this up. I've already made quite a few of these and used a lot of my layering pieces, so I kind of feel like I'm at the bottom of the barrel just a little bit, but we can make it work, that's for sure. If you want, you can do something up here. And in this case, with there being writing, that's probably what I will do on this one. Do like that to tie in some of the blue. And I really like this on 34th Street as well. I knew I wanted to use this on one of these at least. Okay, I like that. And then, like I said, you wouldn't have to put anything down at the bottom on that one. Now you can add a smaller, maybe green label if I have one. Just add a little bit of contrast, or maybe one of these little knit ones. That's kind of cute. Or we could try using a label. Let's see which one we like best. Okay, I like the label best. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. And what did I do with my little image? I just had it. I hope I haven't lost it. I just had that. I wonder where it went. Oh, here it is. Starting to worry about myself. Okay, where did it go? I just saw it. All right, and I will sew across that, but let me go ahead and get this one done so we can do all the sewing at once. Again, I think maybe a little bit of greenery on this one would be cute. Pardon my coughing. I still haven't gotten completely over my code. I am better than what I was, but I'm not quite there yet. Something like that, maybe. And that's an option. Or let's see, what does this little tag say? Believe. Kind of like the idea of maybe having that on there. Ooh, that's cute too. Look at that. I like that. Because you can have the believe just so. Just like that. That is really cute. And could do that. I think that's what I'm going to do. I really like how that looks. So let me put all these back up and glue that down, and then we'll be ready to sew it. All right. I'm not being super detailed in my gluing right now because I feel like, you know, it's going to get sewed onto. I'm just getting it down a little bit so it doesn't shift and move too much when I am sewing, is what I'm trying to accomplish with gluing it right now. So I do have free digitals on my Ko-Fi page that would work for layering pieces. I am using Tim Holtz, but feel free to download those. I will include the link in this video so you'll have some pieces to work with. I've got, I think, 3 different Christmas digitals out there, so definitely don't just, the link that I include, check out all the links and see which one that you feel you would want to play with, or download them all. Again, all you got to do is put in 0 for the dollar amount and it'll let you download it for free. And we've got one more here to sew. All right, let's take a look at these again, see how these turned out. And embellishing them that's the fun part. You can just play around, see what you like the best. But these are the 2 we just embellished, and then here are some of the other ones that I've done. I just think they're super cute. They're very functional and they give you lots of journaling space to journal on. All right, guys, don't forget to keep it cute, keep it crafty, and keep making something out of nothing. Bye.